Hello Covalence community, I'm Matt Landers and I'm here for a walkthrough Wednesday where we're going to answer one of our community members, Evan Norton's question that he had in our Slack. So he wanted to know how in a database he can set the value of one field equal to the substring of another field on insert. So let's say that on your front end you only got the full name in an input box, but you wanted first name in the database. We're going to create a scenario where that would actually happen automatically in the database so that anybody that inserted a name into the table, the first name would be inputted into another column. So let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a table that we can use for this lab. So I'm just going to call it WW Lab for Walkthrough Wednesdays. I'm going to give it an ID because every table needs an ID. I'm going to say that it is auto increment and have a primary key. I'll have a name, varchar 100, and then I'll have a first name, varchar 50. All right, so I'm just going to create this table. And there we go, it's created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a trigger for this table. So anytime a name is inserted into the table, we're going to pull out the first name and put it into that first name field. So we'll say create trigger, and just for the sake of brevity, I'm going to say insert name as the name of the trigger. And it's going to be before insert on WW Lab for each row, and we're going to set the new. So new is a keyword for the new row that's about to be inserted into the table. So new first name equals substring underscore index of new dot name. And we're going to look for the first space in that name, and we're going to take the first return value out of that. So that's the way this substring works. It basically does a split on the string based on the space that I put in here and says which value do you want. I want the first value out of that, and that's it. So this is a trigger. It's going to fire before insert on any insert into this table for each row. So this is important. If you do for each row, you end up with this new keyword, and that is the actual row that's about to be put into the database. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this and create it. And now we'll get rid of that. And now let's do an insert into the table. So insert into WW Lab. We're gonna just insert the name field, that's it. And we'll say values, Matt Landers, just put my name in here. And we'll run that. Let's do another one just so we can see it. We'll do Evan Norton. That's the student that, or alumni that was asking about this in our chat. And we'll execute this, get our table or our rows in there, and then we'll select them out. And there we go. So we inputted the name, and that trigger fired before the insert and put in the first name into the first name column. So this is a pretty handy trick that you can do a lot of times, especially if you want to do maybe tracking on, well, I've used this a lot for when updates are made to the database. So you could do before an update, change the update time. I'll have like a underscore modified field on every table, so I'll know when it was last modified and maybe even what user modified it. So you can use triggers for a lot of cool things like that, especially logging. But this was a cool example. I thought it was something that it would be nice to show everybody how to do. And I appreciate Evan asking that question and letting me do this for Walkthrough Wednesday. So hopefully you got a little something out of that, and we'll see you next week.